Look what we got in here. An Arctic Leopard XE Enduro S Pro. So let's go ahead and take a look. Here it is. So cool. This is how they come in, just like so. So if you get yours in, if you order from us or elsewhere, this video might help you out. So this is what you should expect. It's on a metal type pallet, but it also might be on like a wooden pallet. All depends who you get it from and how they send it to you. Okay, I'm gonna have to set this somewhere, or set this up somewhere. Now that I got you all set up, let's go ahead and dig into this. Don't try to go too deep with the razor blade. There we go. As you see, it's a metal crate, so comes pretty secure. Lots of zip ties. That one's broke, but they usually just holds the wheel. But they have 3 here, 3 over here, so it's held into place. Okay, so you get your impact, your Allen, and these are actually decent enough. You can just keep them to have spare parts on hand, you know. All you have to do is lift that right off. I'll cut the tire zip ties. So this will all fold out. You'll also have cinch straps down on the sides here of the bike that also go around this wall, coming completely off. We like saving these. They come in handy for securing loads and trucks and what have you. Almost out of the crate, you can see tons of zip ties. They definitely make sure everything is secure. OS right there, baby. So this has an 18 21-inch wheel. Got the rear fender, or the front fender, secured to the rear wheel is what I mean. More zip ties. So a lot of clipping zip ties. Another strap for the charger. Put that to the side. There's the front fender. Couple zip ties here, nothing to worry about. I gotta take off this piece of metal. It was kind of holding the bike in place on the top of the metal crate. That's what I unzipped, and then that's what I bent back to lift the top piece off. But we'll go ahead, zip that off. And one thing I was gonna, so you get bikes, it's like a sticker or something on there. Little WD for you. It's just like a sticker. I don't know where that came from. Factory probably. But we'll get her cleaned up. And then, yeah, got things covered. Yep. And here's the key cards to activate the bike. You go ahead and take those off. Just set them off to the side. Okay, I like getting the bars on because it gives you something, a way to pick the bike up. I'll go ahead and put these on next. Controls, just so they're not dangling around. So we'll go ahead and put these on. And this is where you get to have fun with where you want your switches and all that good stuff. Yeah. So usually that one is closest to there, and then that, I suppose. Well, yeah, you definitely want to go there first. So yeah, these are on the lever, a Torx. Push the headlight down so you can access. I mean, it's really a personal preference thing, I would say, right there. To show you what I'm talking about, this bolt up here and shock needs to go in there. It's a little difficult, but I got it. Best if you have like a stand or something, because when I undo the front fork, the axle, and I slide the axle off, I then have to pick this up, put it on here. Now, if you want to take the battery out, go through all that, it would be a lot lighter. That's what we typically do for the other bikes like Sur-Ron, Light BX, and the E-Ride series. That way it's just a lot lighter, right? However, this battery's in here. It comes out. It's in there a little bit. It's in there better. It's tied down. I'll show you here in a second. To get the rear seat off, you got this underneath. You just counterclockwise unscrew it. Now they have two different ones. We've seen them in the seat on top and then on the bottom. There we have it. And then the seat slides off like so. And then in here, you got the keys, which open the front trunk, and then you have the wheel spacers. So I'll set those to the side. That's what the zip tie was all about. And turn the key, opens your battery lid. So battery lid is locked. If no one knows how to get in here, yeah, it's pretty good. And then you have a couple of hooks here, and you can put like some tools in here and put like a rubber strap in between those. So as you see, the battery is in very, very good. It is held down. So I would have to zip this off, which looks like to be maybe a 10 mil, and zip that off. That would take this bracket off. Then you could take the battery, pull the battery out. Yeah, maybe we'll go ahead and do it just to see how easy it is. I didn't do it on the other bikes we had gone in and sold, but yeah, let's do it just to see how easy. It will make this bike a lot lighter because this is a 72 volt 55 amp hour. There's the energy density, the product model A7255, and it has a serial number right up there. So I think this aspect is pretty cool of the Arctic Leopard XE Enduro Pro S series. Yeah, pretty cool. You got a lot bigger brake pads, front and rear. Like I said, bigger, knobbier tires, more for off-road. The shocks look really, really super nice. The last ones we rode at test, after we build them, we take them in the parking lot as long as it's good weather and go back and forth just to make sure everything works right. Because the last thing you want to do is hand the keys over to a customer and they get home and they're like, hey, it doesn't work. That sucks. Sometimes when it's super cold and icy, I mean, we can't test them other than here, run the wheel. But, we want to have as minimal disruptions to the customer as possible for issues, right? So if we already know it charges, we know it works, then we're good to go. Got my 10 mil deep socket. There we go. Pull that off, set it off to the side. Right, it's not quick to take apart. I wouldn't advise you taking the battery out of this all the time. If you're looking for a bike and want to take the battery out like every ride, then this probably ain't it. Or, I mean, well, it does kind of move around a little, but it's a heavy battery, so you could probably, with the lid down, I wonder if it actually really moves much. But Yeah, there we go. That's most of the weight. So just so you all know, the axle cap is a T50. Okay? So just tools you'll need if you're building your own bike, or even if you're maintaining it. These are tools you need. Make sure you have the right tools. And with Amazon, it's not expensive or Harbor Freight to buy some basic tools. There we have her. Putting on the rear shock, taking it off the pallet is probably the two hardest things that really two people, obviously I did it by myself, but two people will just make it go a lot better. You will remove this spacer out of the brake caliper for the pads, but make sure you took that zip tie off of the bars, and don't press that once you pull this out. So that is gone. Again, that's what the spacers look like. They should have been under the seat, zip tied together. Assembly lube or whatever light coating grease they have on, I like to brake clean it off. So I'm gonna put on some AMSOIL Dominator grease. I just like it. It's more of kind of like an off-white / clear. But I also like red and tacky from Lucas. So I put the tube of grease in a Tupperware container. I had some of this old grease. I thought it would reconstitute back to this stuff. It doesn't, so I'll just use around this dark area. Because I had an extra tube at home. I was like, oh, I'll take it in and maybe it will re-liquefy if it's with this petroleum base. No, it didn't. So, yeah. But anyways, AMSOIL, I don't know, it's good grease. I like it. Oh, yep, okay. So the wide spacer versus the small one, wide one goes on the rotor side, because if you try this one, it's clearly too shallow, and because there's lips on these, once you kind of put them in, they stay, versus like some of the other bikes where they like to slide out. So yeah, once they're past the seal, they kind of stay in, which is a nice design versus like E-Ride and stuff like that where you're fighting them, they fall out on you. Yep, just like so. Take that. It's always fun trying to... There we go. Get this lip into this, but once you get it, it goes. The weight might pull it down on your stand. There we go. Wipe off excess, because no one likes excess just grabbing dirt when they buy the bike. You know, what we can do. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I like to make it as perfect as possible. Take the axle nut, start hand tightening that. Might even use my T50 just to start hand tightening. And there we go. Okay, see, I can feel that. It turned and twisted that. That means it's bottomed out. It's pulled tight in. So now all I have to do is tighten these. And so I don't get yelled at, of course I'm going to do this by hand. Good, put your ratchet in there. Oh, there we go. This ratchet's kind of old, so it doesn't always take locking it in. Then I'm going to take my T50 on the other side with the cap. I'm going to just snug it a tad. And then I'm going to lock it down. And sometimes you might hold the barrel, so because it's still too loose, to just ratchet. Yep, still too loose. I had these pretty far out to get the axle out. Okay, there we go, that one. Okay, there we have that. So that is now on. We have one wheel on. Okay, in the battery box, it's time to open her up. Or I should say charger box, battery box, what am I thinking? Charger box. Accessory box, I guess. So in this box, you will have the front number plate, you will have a manual, you will have rubber straps to hold down the wiring on the bars. Looks a little more professional. You also have foot pegs, so we got to put those on still. And then here's the charger. And then you also have these big zip ties. We'll see if they work. In the last few bikes, these were too thick to get through the number plate. Like somebody didn't seem to realize these were too thick. But nice that they give you big heavy zip ties if they work. And then yeah, you get an extra sticker and I think just some extra, oh, these are the fender bolts actually for the front fender. So yeah, actually we'll put on the front fender now. So I like to use blue Loctite. The stick form, it's not as messy. But sometimes it does kind of get crispy in here, like it dries out a little bit, but you definitely want to Loctite them because they can and will fall out. Okay, their fat zip ties did not fit through the holes on this, so yeah, they still provided the wrong size zip ties. The horn was slightly touching the fender. It should be flushed back. That's why on a stand it's good just to, once you kind of zip stuff up like that, just to make sure wires aren't getting pulled and what have you. Then always, I have these nice fancy snips from Italy, but they cut nice and flush. So cut your zip ties so they don't kill your hands when you're reaching flush with the heads. Sorry, it's a pet peeve of mine. Especially in China, they don't like cutting them flush. Because if they're flush, they know hurty. And you won't be bleedy. Like, see, that one's not cut flush that they had on. There, now it's flush. So, foot pegs are pretty straightforward. There's the pin, there's the spring. They have like a clip on these. I prefer if they would have just put a cotter pin though. But I guess good enough. Although we find that those fall out, or a cotter pin typically, I've never lost a cotter pin. So yeah, we'll take the pin out. And these, it's pretty straightforward to know which way they go, because as you're riding, they should fold up out of the way when you hit something, like a rock. And like I said, they end up losing them anyways. You hit grass or weeds or sticks and boom, that falls off. And usually the pin stays in, but it could fall off. Okay, I want to do the other side. Same cursing over there as over here, so no reason to show you that side. So pull it off, that's the easy part. Okay, got the foot pegs on. Oh my God. That's probably like the worst part of, you know, I said the suspension or taken out of the crate. Honestly, that is the worst. This is what it looks like up under here. You got the latch, you got these bolts, you got the wire. It's pretty tidy, pretty neat in there, you know. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and drop this bad boy in. Ugh. Okay, might need two hands. we go. Going in. Okay, I got the battery in. Battery has to be sitting in just right. And then once you get it, you'll see that then it will be smooth and line up. And yeah, it's just a pain getting there. So now we'll plug this bad boy in. It took me 2 hands just to pull this in from each side and just pull it in. Woo! Okay, and if you want to undo it, you just press that way and it will unlock it. So it's locked in now. Now we can take this, we can shut this lid. Kind of have to jab it down. I remember that from the last ones. I just leave the key in here for the next owner. And go back, grab the seat, take the seat, and you see there's that and a front one. Front one goes there, so just like a dirt bike. Might need 2 hands to kind of bump it forward, but that might line up. Maybe I have to hold them longer. There we go. Just have to hold the M a lot longer over here. So arrows will neutral 1, 2, 3, 4. That's sport. And back down takes you back down to neutral. Press M. We'll switch information here. You got your volts. Got total time. Got your trip meter in kilometers, which we can change. Yeah. And let's see if I can change that. I forget. Oh, holding M turns it off. Hold M again. Brings up that. Bada boom, bada bing. Just trying to remember the menu. Hold the up button. Oh, it turned off the sound. So hold up again. Ooh, turn the sound back on. So if you don't want that sound on, let's hold the bottom button. Nothing. Both of these. There we go. Hold both arrows. Brings you to this menu. I knew there was a menu somewhere. Units. Press M to select. Change it to miles. Press M again. There you go. You can also turn things. Brightness, English, exit. Go back to exit. Hold both arrows again. And now we can go to basic settings. So you can do password, information, factory settings, and exit. So information would be all this: your average speed, your max speed, your trip, odometer, product info, battery info. They probably tested it, so it has 0.8. Let's go through here. Odometer. No, you can't change it. Makes sense. There's your product information, version, date, and back. Battery information. There's your battery info. So if you're buying one of these used, you could go through the settings and see what all this had averaged out to and what have you. Let's see, press M. There we go. Hold M, brought me back to here. And see, now it's in miles, ride time, all that. So it's good to go. What is our charge state? Is 54%. And it's 50 Celsius. 50%. I don't know what that exactly means, but okay. Yeah, so I will take it out for a quick test spin. But that is the Arctic Leopard XE Pro S Enduro. Yeah, so hopefully this video helped you out if you're setting up or if you're looking to buy one of these and just want to know what it looks like in some of the menu settings and all that good stuff. So y'all take care, stay well, stay safe, and have a good one.